What's up? This BG, aka Beat Chisel, Chopper City representative, your #1 original hot boy.
Gotta even much be discussing 50 Cent. Like, this is about BG right now. Once I sobered up, you know what I'm saying, and start seeing clearly and got my mind right, you know what I'm saying, and if nigga love me, if you love me like you say you love me, you know what I'm saying, then you wouldn't want to see me, you know what I'm saying, destroying myself. What's up, what's happening, man? It's BG, aka Beat Chisel, your #1 original hot boy, Chopper City representative.
September 3rd, 1980 in New Orleans, Uptown, 13 Wall, Valence Street, where the pavement got more storage than the tour guides and the second line music gets drowned out by gunshots and sirens. This ain't the postcard city with beignets and French Quarter bartenders. This the side where murals drive fast cause the next candlelight vigil is already warming up. That's where Christopher Noel Dorsey opened his eyes. His father with some mystery name, he was actually present, a real anchor until murder got the rope and left BG and his mama leaning. Scent kept the wall from falling with grit and prayer, but in the 13 wall, prayers are like umbrella in a hurricane. You know that bitch gon' blow, but you hold on to it anyway. That boy grew up watching how quick the streets turn bodies into memories. Bicycle spokes click next to stolen car engines. Block taught lessons with no pencils. While some kids try to beat the street with a jump shot, Christopher got curious about a different net. Heroin brushed past him early. Using not strung out yet, but just as a teenager flirting with that poison like he was playing truth or dare. That taste set claws in that boy. Quiet claws, the kind that don't show until they crack the concrete later. Uptown got real killers. Christopher wasn't on that roster. He was the porch eyewitness, the street corner echo, the kid memorizing the crime scene and turning it into 16 balls. On Valence, they know the difference between a storyteller and a real hitter. Folks outside the zip code, they rarely do. Opportunity came wearing sunglasses and a diamond watch. Brian Williams, aka Baby, and his brother Ronald Slim Williams ran cash money like a corner store with a corporate spreadsheet. Product in, profit out, feelings not accepted or respected. They didn't need affidavits. They needed a voice that made suburban kids feel dangerous for 4 minutes. Christopher's raspy voice sounded like sandpaper on the snare drum, perfect for selling danger to people who couldn't find violence on the map, even if you showed it to them. They stamped him the BG, tossed him in the assembly line, and told the world the packaging meant proof. The hood called him Lil Dude at first. The shady 360 contract called him revenue later. By the middle of the 90s, BG was in the booth more than he was in class. The tape came out dressed as autobiography, but Uptown knew they were hearing a tour guide with a backstage pass, not a real gangster. That boy wasn't hunting, he was reporting. Didn't matter. America don't fact check slang when the hook slaps. He sounded grown before he could grow a beard, and the label loved the illusion. The machine kept feeding him beats, and that boy kept handing back verses that sounded like jailhouse eps, even though his lane was observational, not operational. Meanwhile, that early flirtation with that dope kept following behind that boy like a shadow that remembered his first name. Soon as he got traction, CMR added 3 more dudes and created a crew. Hot Boys, the group actually packed intensity. Juvenile, the seasoned vet. Wayne, the prodigy with an encyclopedia of syllables. Turk, the young dude out the NOLA. And BG, the so-called raw edge street dude with a gangster's mentality. VL shook their heads at the marketing, but head shakes don't stop sales. The studio schedule turned his calendar into an assembly line. Projects stacked like laundry. Quick, dried, and shipped. BG was young with a frog in his throat, telling gangster street stories to whoever would listen to him. Voice was believable, but the life behind it wasn't the life it advertised. The bread was coming in by the boatload for CMR, but not in BG's pockets, and that monkey on his back was weighing heavy. Corporate America noticed the noise BG was making on the local scene and handed CMR a briefcase fat enough to crush any dope boy dreams. BG wasn't holding the pen that mattered. He was holding the mic. Lemon Baby got richer, and BG got sent to the recording booth to do more work. Cash Money gave the world slangs that ran laps around language, even ended up in dictionaries. Meanwhile, Valence still had potholes bigger than the craters on the moon. Late 90s put that boy on magazine covers and put the addiction he was hiding from the world closer to being put on blast. Fans celebrated for CMR calling the phrase bling bling, while BG himself was rocking fake watches because he couldn't afford afford the real thing.
Neva watches, bro, they looked at just like Rolexes. They had the bezel on it. You know, they was gold until they turned green. You feel me? You get you another one.
While Baby figured out how to turn thousands into millions, BG figured out how to turn a studio night into another reason to chase that dog food. Kids in the suburbs turned up the volume. The hood did too. When the calendar flipped and the champagne dried, the music sounded winded. Titles bragged, verses breathed hard. BG needed balance sheets and boundaries, but he got sessions and city-to-city tours instead, all with no bread. Eventually, the curtain lifted. That contract wasn't all gravy, it was shaded. That boy walked away from Cash Money carrying a brand, a habit, and a grudge. Owning your name sounds like freedom until the bills show up wearing ski masks. He slapped Chopper City Records on a letterhead and told himself ownership was how he was rocking. The real truth though, independent money is a slow drip when the phone call's not coming in and you trying to run a label with the same hands that can't stop shaking like a bad pair of dice. BG kept releasing music because momentum feels like medicine when you can't get the real kind. His new project still had that raspy voice, the street stories, the gangster hood vibe. But outside the booth, he was missing shows, ducking in interviews, leaning like a Winn-Dixie basket with one bad wheel. The South was booming, big label budget, star power. Meanwhile, BG was pushing the wheelbarrow uphill with a flat tire. He leaned on his past and his CMR background to approach labels, while the new generation cashed out on new younger artists. From the sidewalk, it looked like hustle. From the scoreboard, it looked like red tape on the books. Then Winter Up North turned his passport into a rap sheet. December 18, 2005, Detroit cops made the large freeway feel like a trap door, and the suspended license turned into a pistol and a weed charge. Less than 2 weeks later, BG was found ducked out full of that dope in a whip with another gun and more dope. February 2006 added a third headline: weed, a handgun, and body armor. Say, bruh, you can't make this shit up. 3 casings in 2 months, far from home, moving like a junkie instead of a comeback. That's not the heart of the streets, that's more like Vic of the week. Back in the Endo, a different storm was forming. Michael Allen, aka VL Mike, wasn't throwing playful jabs. That boy was taking shots on beats, going that BG head heavy. He questioned the legitimacy behind BG's image, and New Orleans loved receipts. The diss track just didn't call BG out, they dressed that boy down, turned him into a mannequin under bright lights. The hardest punch wasn't even lyrical. Some of the very dudes BG once called homies started appearing next to VL Mike on camera, laughing like betrayal came with a check. That's the saying you can't bleach the people you vouch for, choosing VL Mike while the whole city watches. 2008 darkened the screen for everybody. When VL Mike got murdered in New Orleans, the streets fed themselves with rumors because the street rally shows up sober, and people keep saying Christopher's name in the same breath just to keep the gossip spicy. No attachment in the facts, plenty in the whispers. The feud had already done its damage. Mike's funeral just ended the soundtrack. The city moved on, but the perception stayed punctured. Meanwhile, the whole city knew that BG wasn't built like that. By 2009, gravity cashed in. A New Orleans traffic stop escalated faster than the fight at a Walter L. Cohen dance. 12 reported 3 pistols in the whip, 2 flags stolen. For a convicted felon, that ain't no small deal. Nobody or Vandals was shocked though. When a domino line's been set up long enough, the fall ain't a surprise. It's a sound you've been waiting to hear. The state case grew federal attention, and the feds started investigating his full government name. In 2011, the indictment landed with the weight of a safe, 2 counts of felon in possession, plus a conspiracy to obstruct justice. Alleging he tried to get another little dude to take the charge. And last part makes the courtroom colder, guns are heavy, but plots get judged twice. December the 7th, BG pled guilty. No press conference, just a man staring at a stack of evidence taller than his defense. The judge didn't care about no rap star status. What they cared about was getting a conviction. July 18, 2012, the sentence arrived like winter. 14 years in the federal system. 3 more on supervised release. When done, you don't plan an album around that. You plan for a game of survival. The music industry is like in Mardi Gras parade. If you step off the float long enough, somebody else got your spot. BG traded his stage for a bunk and a publicist for a commissary list. Out chilled, the wave kept surfing without him. In the meantime, while in the pen, the days kept repeating like a rerun of Martin. From 2013 to 2022, that boy name lived in barbershop debates and comment sections, not on the music charts. Inside notoriety buys you storage in the yard. It doesn't buy you airplay. Outside, Atlanta turned trap music into its infrastructure. Lil Wayne became a goat to the culture. Birdman multiplied multiple business plays. And the label that once packaged BG's music minted megastars without needing a verse or hook from him. Younger listeners learned bling bling from memes, not BG album. Nostalgia kept a candle lit. Relevance moved out and didn't leave a forwarding address. Baby did BG the way the industry did Quarters. Both kept count, only one got paid. Early September 2023, BG walked out in front of the camera. Timelines popped like confetti cannons. Old heads typed paragraphs about New Orleans gangster rap returning. Valence didn't celebrate them same timelines. The block said BG didn't circle back the way he talked about doing back when his freedom was just a rumor. Folks said he came home on his feet and kept his hands in his own pockets. In the 13th ward of New Orleans, love is measured by your actions and honor in your word, not in Instagram captions. Hood kept at 100. If you don't pull into the ground you came from, don't expect flowers to grow with your name on them. BG tried to make rap his go-to move again, but music now moves like apps, short, sticky, algorithm friendly. That old raspy voice that once felt like a hood general now sounded like a voicemail from 99. That boy landed features, teased projects, posted snippets. To the younger generation, that shit felt like throwback nights in rooms that only wanted futuristic lights and Atlanta auto-tune music. Comeback didn't boom, it buzzed, then faded like a neon sign with a bad wire. If you promise a rainstorm and bring a drizzle, umbrellas get closed and people go inside. March 2024, Las Vegas swapped cheering for cuffs taken into custody on the last supervised release violations. Performers without the right paperwork. Association with people the court banned them from dealing with. The freedom is a tightrope. Supervised release is the wind that keep damn near making you fall. A few days later, he walked out again, but the headlines wrote the exit bigger than the entry. Soon delivered relief when the judge dismissed the violation allegations. Let that boy travel if he gave probation a heads up. July took the breath back. The courts required pre-publication review of his lyrics. Imagine writing a ball and sending it to a PO like you're submitting homework. Not a blanket ban on subjects, just a gatekeeper with a clipboard between his pen and the public. A rapper, that's not a condition. That's more like wearing a dog collar. Meanwhile, the same hood that saw him grow kept his own folded. You can't run game on the block by reminiscing of old memories. The hood remembered the promises and measured them against the shit that didn't happen, that support didn't show. Some fans argued about legacy with all caps in comment sections. On Valence, they talked like bankers, deposits and withdrawals. The mat didn't favor them. All those years ago, the CMR label calculated that a raspy voice teenager could sell gangster shit to the world. It worked. The gangster shit went platinum. Teenager grew older. The voice got heavier. The dope he flirted with as a kid became a full-time roommate. And the paperwork he signed became a lease he couldn't see until it got yanked. BG took scenes he watched and told them that scenes he survived. Market bought every verse, and the city never changed its verdict. The legal system added its own editorial notes, indictments, a plea, a sentence with enough winters to make the outside world forget the track list. After release, he tried to replant his name in the soil that didn't recognize the seeds. The industry had changed, and his hood wasn't rocking with anything with his name on it. The court turned creativity into correspondence. He learned the difference between being free from a cell and being free from the court system. One opens the door, the other keeps his foot on your neck. The timelines run straight like this year. Father president to murder. Childhood in the 13th, learning the pain of grief. Teenage years, early using heroin. A voice that sold observation as participation. A label turning observation into currency. A cultural slang entering dictionaries while the originator counted crumbs. Independence with holes in the bucket. Detroit arrest stack. The beef with VL Mike that peeled off the mask. A 2009 stop that birthed federal paperwork. A 2011 indictment. A December plea. A July the 12th sentence deep enough to erase momentum. A 2023 release date that got celebrated online and frowned down upon on balance. A 2024 tug-of-war with Probation that ended with a government red pen over his lyrics. Balance handed out mirrors. When BG stood in front of his, it didn't show a man who honored his word. It showed a voice that learned the difference between sounding like the streets and belonging to them. The city knows its own. The courts knows its calendar. And the block knows who's held it down when the cameras left. There's no victory speech here. No ending credits, hero music. No last minute release from guilt. It's a line that starts on balance, bends through studios and boardrooms and back seats in courtrooms and settles under fluorescent lights. People love to say the game at the game. Sometimes the game says it back to you. You can sell it mad for years, but sooner or later, somebody gonna ask for the receipts.